Okay, this video is going to be for young people, and the thing that concerns me the most is that some of them, if they watch porn at an early age, are going to get very wrong messages about what it takes to be good in bed. Okay, so I have in the past been a sex worker. I actually do have a Just for Fans page. I'm a mother. I am not a prude, okay? But I'm telling you what it takes to be good in bed. To be good in bed, you have to be embodied. Guys, be embodied. Own your masculinity. Your masculinity is valuable despite what these liberals tell you. And you have to be comfortable with your sexuality. You're not begging women for sex. It's always a gift. If you're an embodied man, women will come to you. They will seek you out. If you're calm and you're strong and you're confident in yourself and you value your masculinity and you like women, they will come to you. Okay? You will get women who like you. Having sex with a woman requires a man to be empowered and affectionate. Not a people pleaser, not a doormat, not begging for sex, not begging for her attention, but being grounded in himself, being calm, and being in a sexual energy and being affectionate with her. You got to tune into the woman. There is no woman who likes being slapped, choked, spit on, unless she was abused as a child and is reliving her trauma. This is abuse. A lot of what I see in porn when I have gone out is frankly abuse. And the people who are making this porn, obviously they have an audience for it, but it's frankly abuse. I do not know any women who like to be hit, ever, especially during sex, which is a very sensual, intimate act. Sure, some women like to be pinned down, they might want to be dominated, they might want to be told what to do, but not all women. Some women don't like that, especially women who've been sexually abused. These are the women who think this is normal. Women who were abused by their parents. Ladies, if you like getting hit and choked during sex, you are, reliving your childhood trauma, frankly. It's not healthy. Sex is an affectionate thing. We're embodied. So, what women need to do to be sexual, it's different from men. You have to be embodied. And for women, especially, you have to think, do I really want to have this sex right now? Because men have a much higher libido, and they're not that picky, ladies. Ladies, men are not that picky when it comes to sex. They're designed by nature or God, however you want to say it, to be easily excited visually. They will get hard just when the wind blows. They might see a ponytail and they get hard and they want to have sex with that woman. Men are often not that picky. They might want to have sex with this woman who's super hot, but if they can't get her, they'll get the other one that they would never date. So a man wanting to have sex with you does not mean he likes you. How to tell if a man likes you is that he's not pushing you for sex, but not because he's a people pleaser. He actually is enjoying your company, and the sex will happen if it does. The guys, he's interested in you, he wants to get to know you, and it feels like he's a friend too, like you're interested in him. A guy who's just pushing you for sex is a fuckboy, frankly. And there are a lot of fuckboys. God kind of designed them that way to really want sex more than we women do. So for women typically, and I'm not saying what your experience is, but typically women want to have sex, and this is typical for women. So don't feel bad if you just want to have sex with guys that you really like, or guys that you might want to date. And I think it takes time for us as women to know if we really like this guy, if we really trust this guy, if he really cares about us, if he's going to be affectionate with us in bed, he's going to care about our pleasure. A man is much more likely to have an orgasm than a woman in a hookup situation, but I have talked to a lot of men who had girlfriends in high school and who really cared about the girlfriend and were in love with the girlfriend. And the two had a really good sexual relationship. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a beautiful thing when high school seniors or juniors, older high schoolers are in love and care about pleasing each other. And these men are usually very good in bed because they're sensual, they're tuned into the woman. If the young man is a sensual man and he's tuned into the woman and she also likes sex and she communicates what she likes, and because he cares about her, he wants to please her. And if she's a woman who wants to be a virgin until she's married because of her religion, he will do other things with her, or he will respect that boundary because he actually cares about her. But then we have these other really wounded people. They might want to copy what they saw in porn. Maybe they were sexually abused. Maybe these men have rage against women, or women have rage against men, so they don't trust men with their emotions. Or maybe they just want to, tease a guy to piss him off because it's some kind of a revenge power thing against men. So all these like negative dynamics that can come up. But I really am concerned about people who watch porn at a young age and get inundated with these images of violence. It is not normal for a woman to just take penises up her ass. There's nothing normal about that. Usually if a woman does something like that, she's with a man that she really cares about, that she really trusts. So you have to be really relaxed to open in that way. And I've come across stuff when I was researching what's going on in porn, where a woman even had 2 penises in her ass. That's abuse. That's abuse. And I question the mental health of the women who would even make such a video. Like, that hurts. Sex shouldn't hurt. It's supposed to feel good, mentally and emotionally. Now, also for a lot of women, I think that for men, they usually use sex to get off or to be able to feel something. But for women, we want to be connected to a guy first, to want to have sex with him. So if we're mad at him or he's ignored us, it's natural that we don't want to have sex with him, unless you're using it to get his attention. I mean, I don't know. Just be noticing why you want to have sex with this guy. And it's often common for a woman to want to have sex to feel closer to someone, that she doesn't necessarily need an orgasm. But ladies, it's absolutely essential that we do not fake our orgasms, and that we only have sex with men. I'm going to recommend that we only have sex with men that care about our pleasure. And this is something that I've struggled with myself. I'm just being honest, that if I was having sex with a guy that I felt didn't care about my pleasure, I didn't want to create the space or ask him to. Because it's not hot to be with a guy who acts like, oh, well, pleasing you is such a burden, I'm not really interested in that. Or this is just how I want to do it. And some guys do not know what they're doing. We have to teach them. A lot of guys are just fumbling through. They don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're copying what they saw in porn. It's very important that we as women tell guys what we like and don't like. To the extent that we're not comfortable telling a guy what we like and don't like, I do not think we should be having sex. I think that people are too quick to jump into having sex without being comfortable to say, I don't like this. I like this. What do you like? How was this for you? What would you like to do different? Yet people are jumping into bed just doing all these weird abusive things like choking. I've had guys tell me, okay, I met this woman on Tinder. She came over, and these were young guys. They were pretty hot guys. She came over. I'm talking at the time they were 18, 19, 20. Some guys even in their 30s. She came over, and then she wanted me to choke her and smack her. And these guys are I did not want to do that to this woman. But she insisted. So he finally kind of did it. A healthy man doesn't want to hurt a woman. He doesn't want to accidentally, even though they say, well, I wanted to give her what she wanted, but they're uncomfortable. They don't want to hurt you. They don't want to have it go too far. They don't want to get in trouble for being accused of abuse. And then these women, after the sex is done, they'll just leave and you never hear from them again. They are, they're very wounded and broken. If you need to be drunk to have sex, I don't think you're ready. I think that having sex should come from, ideally, I'm in my body, I'm in my pleasure, I trust this person, I'm comfortable communicating with this person. This person actually is going to care about my pleasure. He's not going to be just some rail and bail fuckboy. And it's up to us as women to screen for who has access to our bodies. Because a lot of men want our bodies. Every woman has learned from the time she develops breasts, men start looking at us. Boys start looking at us. Men start looking at us because we're beautiful and we're curvy. And it catches the eye of men. They can't help it. They're very visual. But just because they notice us or want us doesn't mean that we want them or that we want to submit to them. They have to earn that. They have to earn that by being the kind of man that you want. And if you read anything about evolutionary psychology, you'll realize that humans evolved to want certain kinds of mates for dating or sex. Men usually want a woman who displays signs of health and fertility, youth often, but it can just be fitness, breast, a waist around her butt, or any of those, shiny hair, healthy hair, signs of health. For women, we also look for signs of health. A man doesn't have to be super muscular, but we like a guy who's strong, who's confident, assertive, who's affectionate and caring. And we also like a guy who's up to something, like he has signs of masculinity, like he's comfortable with being dominant and aggressive. He has courage, he takes risks. That's why women like these athletes or guys who are, very good at something. Some women like nerds or, a guy who's confident, who's a good listener, who's emotionally calm and stable. Of course, there are people who like wounded people too, like children who are raised by abusive parents or controlling parents or neglected or abandoned or who were abused. They will go for people who treat them badly because that's all they know and that's familiar to them. If that's your case, you can get some therapy or talk to a counselor at school and get some therapy to change the pattern of what you think is normal, what you're attracted to. I think that sex is a very beautiful experience. I'm not a prude, but I know for me as a woman, when I've had sex with guys that was good and then they blew me off because all they wanted was sex, it broke my heart. It broke my heart. I'm not made to hook up. A lot of men are able to compartmentalize. They're designed that way. Not all men. Some men will only have sex in a relationship. Okay? But if you look at all men versus all women, you will see that there are more men who are able to just have sex and never talk to the woman again. And I've experienced that many times. There are women like that too, but fewer of them. Most women are more emotional creatures because we have sex with men that we like. See, a guy will have sex with a woman just because she's hot or because she's available. Ladies, I'm making this for girls, teenagers, but you're ladies too. Okay, ladies, you gotta know this about guys. They think you're beautiful. They think almost all women are beautiful, and they will want to have sex with a beautiful woman. They have a very high libido. If we had the amount of testosterone these guys have, we would be fucking everything that walks too. So I admire these guys. They have to learn how to manage their testosterone, their libido, because they're horny all the time, but they can't do anything about it. Okay, they can't. They have to learn to manage that. But a lot of these men, not all, but many, will have sex with any woman who would offer them. You take a high school boy and you have every girl in the class come up to him and say, do you want to have sex with me? He would probably say yes to all of them because they're beautiful. And if he couldn't get any of these because they're hot, he might even take some 60-year-old woman like me if I offered it. Or some ugly woman or some, okay, a lot of men will have sex with a woman that's hot, any woman that's hot, which is most women, or a woman who's available and offering it. I'm not saying that they have no discernment, but they have very little when it comes to sex because men have told me, if I can't fuck this woman who's a 10 out of 10, I'll take the 4 out of 10. And she thinks I like her, but I don't. I was just horny. And as soon as the guy comes and he comes to, he's like, I got to get out of here. If you've had sex with a guy and he wants to get out of here, he was a railing bale guy. He never liked you. That's why a lot of women want to test the guy to see if he likes us, because that's the worst thing. We have sex with the guy and then we never see him again, because when they're horny and they're interested in you, something changes in them. They really get present. They really listen to you. They say all the right things because they're in the zone. They're in this high libido zone, and it changes their brain somehow. It's like, and then after they have their release, they come back to normal. Okay, they call it the post libido phase or post nut clarity. Okay, that's why guys should masturbate before they go on a date. So they're not all just up in the woman trying to get her to fulfill his sexual needs. Ladies, you're not responsible for meeting a man's sexual needs. He can go masturbate. I do not believe in the religions teaching you that you shouldn't. But anyway, so the guy then just wants to get out of there. If you have sex with the guy and he wants to stick around and he still talks to you and he asks you, when can I see you again? That's a guy who likes you. After he's come, if he's still interested and he asks to see you again, that's how you know. But for ladies, okay, so men choose women. Men will have sex with the woman who's hot or a woman who's available. They're really not that picky. They're designed that way. So it's something that they learn to manage. When they're older, they become a lot more picky because they've learned, I don't really like how I feel if I pick someone who's not that hot, or I end up with some woman who's psycho or some woman who gets feelings for me. So they become a lot more selective, and they start valuing their sexual energy more and who they're giving it to, especially as they become more in tune with their emotions and their spirituality. They don't want to just fuck anything that walks anymore, even though they're good in bed. Now for women will want to have sex with a man that meets these mating criteria of being physically fit, healthy, tender defender, strong, an aggressor, someone that she would actually date. In general, women will have sex with a man that she actually likes in some way. You know, maybe a woman would have sex with her tennis coach. I'm not saying you should do that. I wouldn't do that, but I've heard these stories. Or a rock star, someone she admires for who he is. It's really rare for a woman to just have sex with a guy because she's horny. Like, I'm so horny, any guy will do. I've never heard of that. Unless she's on some kind of a revenge thing. Oh, I gotta get even with my boyfriend who cheated on me, so I'll pick the first guy I see. Something like that. It's pretty rare. So it's more, we like the guy, so we have sex with him. And because guys don't operate that way, they can have sex with us just because they're horny. They don't even have to like us. So there's that mismatch, and that's the biggest thing that we women need to understand about men, is that they can have sex with us. They don't even have to like us, just because we're available and offering it. And then because we like the guy, then we get our feelings hurt if he just wanted sex. Because if that's all he wanted, he's not calling you again, unless it's the next time late at night when he wants sex again. And what men have to understand about women is that women are not like the women in porn. That's fantasy, and you're not James Bond or Prince Charming. That's all fantasy. And the actual men that I talk to, they don't even like that kind of porn. That's why they're on other type of sites, or someone once told me that he came across porn. This was a young guy I was talking to. I was like maybe 20. Very good looking Marine. A lot of Marines around here. And he was saying that he went on a porn site and he was just shocked by how abusive it was. And that so he Googled romantic porn. And he said that seems more like how a woman would want to be treated. This guy was great in bed, by the way. So a man who's good in bed is dominant, in my view, dominant and sensual and affectionate. He's comfortable with his sexuality. He wants to please the woman and please himself. He's not selfish. And a mature man only has sex with the woman knowing, after telling her, either that if he just knows it's just going to be a hookup, and he will already know this in himself. He tells her, I'm just looking for something casual. This is for older people. I would not recommend this I do not recommend casual sex for high schoolers. I think it's best if you wait to be in a relationship before you have your first sexual experiences, because for women especially, the sex is better when we have feelings for the guy. And it gets better because the more we can be in our hearts and trust, the more we can open, because our bodies have to open. For I don't think that men experience more sexual pleasure when they have feelings for the woman. They might feel more emotionally. But for women, a lot of the enjoyment of sex comes from our emotions. So women who are emotionally shut off, who just want to like have abusive sex, I think they're missing out. I don't really get that part, but so I guess what I wanted to say is that ladies, do not try to be like in porn. Also, do not worry so much, guys and ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, do not obsess so much about your body. The main thing is that you feel good in your body, because when a guy's having sex with us, he's not looking at a pimple or a stretch mark. He's not looking at that. He's just enjoying himself. And when people start worrying about, penis size or weight or anything like that, now they're in their heads, they can't even enjoy sex. So in order to enjoy sex, you have to be in your body and just allow yourself to feel pleasure. And, for young people, this is hard. A lot of young people are very uncomfortable in their bodies. Their bodies are changing so quick. They're not used to someone seeing them naked. And, it's okay to take things slow. A lot of women wake up to their sexuality later in life. I mean, I sure did. It takes time for a woman to learn what she likes and doesn't like, to feel comfortable speaking up, to really gain confidence in her body. And so just don't try to compare yourself to other people. Don't do what you see in porn. Just be like, well, how does this feel to me? How am I feeling? What are my needs? Does this person care about my needs? Especially ladies. Does this man care about my needs? Does he care about my pleasure? Or is he just out to use me? Do I want to be naked with this man? And men have to realize that what the women that are in porn are actually very broken people. In my opinion, they're all broken. What woman wants to show herself naked to the whole world? I'm on a Just for Fans. It's behind a paywall. I don't want the whole world to see me naked. And the stuff I make is very sensual. There are a lot of men who love that. That's why they will subscribe to the site. Not all men want to abuse women in bed. I think it sets a very bad tone that the only sex that we see, unless we're having sex of our own, the only discussions that we have are the schools telling us not to do it, the church telling us not to do it, and then porn showing it as very abusive. And all of these, or then the romance novels, also some kind of a fantasy fairy tale. I don't think that we get good sex education, and the things we're told and the things we see can really lead us down, I think, a bad path of not being able to tune into our own pleasure. I could be way off on this. These are just my thoughts. You can let me know what you think. And one more thing I want to say, always use a condom. Always use a condom, ladies, unless you're in a committed relationship with a guy who is willing and able to provide for you if you get pregnant and you want to get pregnant and you are able to provide for yourself. Always use a condom. Well, this is just my opinion, because I do not think that men deserve access to our bare vaginas unless they're in a committed relationship with us. And a lot of people are running around not using a condom. Also, there are a lot of negative health effects to hormonal birth control. When I was a young woman in high school, I was on the pill for a couple years, but after that, I used to think that I don't think they have anymore the diaphragm. The diaphragm is good because it's like a cap that goes over the cervix, so there are no hormones involved. And then we would put a cream on it that was like a spermicide that would kill any sperm, and it worked really well. But now they have the IUDs and they have different things, and the hormones have negative health effects on the woman. They have found in studies that when women on hormonal birth control would pick more feminized men. And so often then these people will get married, maybe they're 30, they're done with college, they're married, and now the woman goes off the birth control to try to conceive, and now she finds her feminized husband repulsive because women not on birth control love masculine men. Feminine women love masculine men, and the hormonal birth control messes with what women find attractive. It changes. That's another thing, ladies. It's natural for you to have mood swings throughout your cycle. These hormonal changes that we go through during the month, I'm postmenopausal, so I don't have that anymore. But I used to get really moody, and I'd be like, I hate that I'm so moody. I just wake up feeling moody during certain parts of my menstrual cycle, and I would get super bloated. And then when I had my periods, I had all this cramping and all this bleeding. It was horrible. But now I've learned that women who have a lot of bleeding, it means they have a thick uterine lining. I don't know if that's true, which is better for pregnancy. I know that some women take birth control pills to help with the cramping. But the natural way, we've gotten so far away from nature, you guys, is to just, ladies, we should be able to stay home and rest on the first day of the cramping with a heating pad, a hot bath, and relax. It's not, hey girl, put in your tampon, wear your white pants, and run a marathon. That is not listening to our bodies. We gotta listen to our bodies. So when I was married 25 years. Like I said, I'm a mom. I used the natural family planning method, which is checking my cervical mucus, taking my temperature to know when I ovulated. And during the time I would ovulate, we either would use a condom or not have sex at all, or do something different. And that worked for me to avoid pregnancy and to get pregnant. And it got me more in touch with my body. I'm really a big fan of getting more in touch with my body. Another thing, a lot of young people are on, they're told to take a drug for whatever ails them. I don't believe in that. Like, if I have anxiety, it's like, let me deal with the anxiety. If I would have depression, and I've never had anxiety or depression, but if I did, I'd be like, well, why am I depressed? Is there something going on in my life? Or is this some internal thing going on? Because people who eat bad food can get depressed too. If you don't never exercise, you eat bad food, you're going to feel bad. So I always try to go for like a natural lifestyle. Don't think that you cannot drug your way into good health. There are a lot of people now taking this drug called Ozempic. I think that's a horrible idea. You cannot drug your way into good health. I'm super fit. I'm 62. I'm super fit. I eat healthy. I'm a big advocate for a natural lifestyle as much as possible. And healthy sexuality and healthy interactions. So, these are just some things to think about. You don't have to be perfect, but I just want to make a video for young people because most of my videos are 18 plus on my channel, but I'm like, I should make a video for young people because I'm really concerned about young people watching porn. And if my sons were still young, I would not let them have a phone at this age. I would not want any young boy to be seeing these violent, abusive images of women abused in porn. I think that should be outlawed. It's just, and I don't like violent movies either, actually, but why are we glorifying hitting women or putting two penises in their ass? Like, what woman would want that? Only a woman who's on drugs or traumatized. You couldn't pay me enough to do that. And these women only get a few $100s or a couple $1,000s for these videos. And that hurts. Have you, guys, if a guy ever, ladies, if a guy ever wants to penetrate you anally, you take a dildo and shove it up his ass and do this and see how he likes it. Because the guy who cares about you, who loves you, who does it, he's going to be slow and gentle. And he's not going to be doing that. He's going to stop if it hurts. Now, some women like anal sex. I'm not shaming anyone for that, but I'm just saying that a lot of what I see in those porn movies is abusive. And sex is something that we're allowed to enjoy. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. If any minors are watching this video, I would love to hear your comments. Because I could make more videos for younger people. If, you know, they want to watch that, especially young women. I really, really think that young men need to learn how to be sensual with women, and young women need to learn to be the gatekeepers to our bodies and just have sex with men who actually are going to be affectionate and care about our pleasure. You know, men who are going to wear a condom and who are not going to push us for sex. Because the culture is getting so sexualized and we're leaving our feelings out of it. You know, people, of course, I don't know what it's like among young people. I'm not really among young people anymore. This is just what I think is happening based on what I've read. And I don't even know if young people would watch this video because it's like so long. But what the heck, I'm going to put it out there. So anyway, thank you for watching.